AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muse her. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah.
It's hump day.
SEC spring meetings going on.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
People taking shots at Lane Kiffin.
Hump day.
Taking shots at Will Wade.
It's hump day.
Man, nothing would be sweeter than watching LSU whip some ass next year.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Thumb your nose at everybody.
Hump day.
Pete Golding's out here taking shots at Lane Kiffin.
It's hump day.
You got arrested for DUI and Kiffin gave you a job, you bum.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You ain't won nothing.
Hump day.
You took his team and beat Tulane in a playoff game.
It's hump day.
Georgia game's pretty good. That was a good effort.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Dork.
Hump day.
Urban Meyer out here taking shots at LSU for hiring Ed Ogeron.
It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Why don't you go hit on another co-ed at a bar, Herb?
Hump day.
Dork.
It's hump day.
Man, it'd be really good to watch LSU just dominate next year.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hard to say much right now, though.
Hump day.
All LSU's done is spend a lot of money.
It's hump day.
Trying to be good.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hopefully the results are there.
Hump day.
Or that'll be pretty embarrassing.
It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Jeff Duncan's here in 11 minutes from right now.
Hump day.
Let's hear a little more what Lane Kiffin had to say when he met with reporters at SEC spring meetings.
It's hump day.
Greg Sankey leg.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Do the Sankey leg.
Hump day.
Do the Sankey leg.
It's hump day.
Which reminds me, Jimmy Ott will be here in about 40 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Otter Locks are already posted.
Hump day.
LouisianaSports.net.
It's hump day.
All right, let's get going here. Hour 3. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. So Tuesday saw the first defection from the LSU baseball team, certainly with more to come. By now, you know Mavrick Rizy has declared publicly his intention to enter the transfer portal. The portal opens on June 1st. It's open for the full month of June. The draft is in July. The deadline for players who are drafted to sign their pro contracts is August the 1st. So that's sort of the timeline that's ahead for how we're going to see how the LSU baseball roster for next year starts to evolve. Well, Mavrick Rizy entering the transfer portal or declaring his intention to enter the transfer portal, probably not a gigantic surprise and the best decision for him based on his future, which we'll talk about in a second. But the quick bio on Rizy. Remember, Rizy is a bit of a unicorn. Right? He's 6'9", 250 pounds. He was a top 50 prospect coming out of high school in Massachusetts. He comes to LSU as a freshman, on the national championship team, leads LSU with 24 relief appearances. Incredible. A 4.74 ERA, struck out more than a batter per inning pitched. He did walk 19, but Rizy pitched in the Super Regional, like pitched in the regionals against Little Rock. I mean, he had some leverage spots. So you're looking at this dude who, because of his size, his sort of the rarity of a dude 6'9", that length, the release point being closer to the hitter, all of that stuff made him a really talented prospect. And coming into this season, expectations for Rizy were so high. As a matter of fact, you don't have to, and this isn't like a media fabrication. It's not like I sat here and said, Rizzy's going to be awesome, and I was dead wrong. Like, this was Jay Johnson at the preseason press conference, right? As they were starting practice for the season. Coming out of fall ball, here it is January, they're about to start practice. This was Jay on Mavrick Rizy.
He should be the most confident player on the roster with the physical ability that he has. I think him understanding, kind of like we were talking about with Derek, what the next steps were physically. I think he's done a terrific job in the weight room. Coach Martin has really emphasized how much better he is moving down the mound. I don't have any experience of being 6'8", but to really know what he's doing in the weight room and how that would translate to moving well down the mound with his delivery, I think he's got that together. So you're seeing efficiency. Misses are small, command is really good, and the secondary stuff is better. I think, I don't think he's going to be a huge part of what we're doing this year.
Misses are small, command is really good. I don't think I know he's going to be a huge part of what we're going to do this year. You look at Rizy year to year, his numbers, freshman to sophomore, are almost identical. You can laugh. It's fine. That's good.
I am laughing.
I didn't.
That thing turbocharged.
Okay, let me lose track. So as a freshman, my cousin Vinny, if you don't know, as a freshman, his ERA was 4.74. This year, 4.22. His ERA improved by half a run per game. Hits, fewer hits this year. Fewer earned runs this year. 29 strikeouts last year, 28 strikeouts this year. 19 walks last year, 19 walks this year. The numbers are almost identical. Except he uncorked 8 wild pitches and hit 7 batters. 493 pitches on the season, 271 for strikes. Fewer than half of the pitches Mavrick Rizy threw this year went for strikes. That's the problem. I'm sorry, just over half went for strikes. That's the problem. The misses were not small, and the command was not good. And as a result, Rizy stopped being used in any type of leverage situation, which is why when you look at what LSU has coming back and coming in, it probably suits him best to leave. I would love to see Mavrick Rizy return. But realistically, Rizy wants to be a starting pitcher. And the path to that happening at LSU next year almost doesn't exist. Your top 5 starters from this year are back. Now, that's the top 5 starters from a team that was the worst ERA in the SEC. So nothing is guaranteed. It's not to say if Rizy comes back, he couldn't emerge. But he's got Kason Evans, Cooper Moore, William Schmidt, Marcos Paz, Reagan Ricken, all ahead of him. And you better believe LSU is going into the portal this year and getting elite, like the number one task this offseason for Jay Johnson. The number one target is go get elite portal starting pitching. Like you did with Holman, like you did with Jump, like you did with Ianson. Like, you don't have a choice. And those guys are there every year. Those guys are in the portal every year. Look, this year, Volchko from Georgia came from Stanford. LSU tried to sign him. He picked Georgia because they paid him more. Last year, Zach Root, who went from East Carolina to Arkansas, LSU wanted him. Arkansas paid him more. This is one of those years where that's not negotiable. You've got to open the checkbook and dump piles of cash on the best pitchers in the portal. because you can't go into next year hoping these guys take a step. So all that to say, from Rizzy's perspective, you got 5 starters returning, and you know they're going in the portal to add 1 or 2 more guys. The path to being a starting pitcher isn't there, and that's what all these guys want. When you get to the next level, maybe you project as a reliever. But look at Alex Lane. Great starting pitcher in college, big league reliever. Sometimes that's the path. But all of these guys are going to try to be starters at this level first and then see how you project at the next level once you get there. That path doesn't seem like it's there for Rizzy in 2027, which is why it's probably the right decision for him to leave to go somewhere that he's going to get mound time and the opportunity to be a starter, which probably just isn't in the cards at LSU in 2027. So Rizzy's always, look, he will forever be part of the 2025 LSU Baseball National Championship team. He'll be back for reunions and all that stuff, and he should be, because he was a big part of what they did a year ago when he led the team with 24 relief appearances. But the path in baseball for what Rizzy wants to do is no longer best paved through Baton Rouge. So him leaving is probably the right decision. And LSU has got to go address that pitching staff and make it a whole heck of a lot better than it was this year. Because the surest fire way to make sure that you are no longer sitting at home next year during regionals is go sign arms that can throw strikes. Your offense ended up being plenty good enough this year. You just didn't have enough strike throwers. So go find them. There will be more. Portal officially opens on June the 1st. All right, brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. Man, all this bad weather, you know, June 1st, not only is the day the portal opens, June 1st is the day that hurricane season begins. And this isn't a scare tactic. It's just to say we need to be prepared when we live here. And thankfully, we've been spared an impactful storm since Ida, or at least a storm like that. Hopefully we never get another one. But we also know the reality of living here is hurricanes come, significant storms come, and you got to be prepared. That's where Arco comes in. We all talk about standby generators. Arco does Generac standby generators for your business. Industrial Generac generator power. Arco.com, arco.com. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com. Go to the website for your commercial, industrial facility, whatever type of business you have, schools, municipalities, churches, anything. You need Generac industrial generator power, standby generators for your business, your commercial building. You need Arco. ARCCO, arco.com, arco.com, arco.com. All right, y'all, been a great show, man. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Jimmy will be here in 30 minutes for Otter Locks. When we come back, excited to have a conversation with our buddy Jeff Duncan from DOLA.com, the Times Picayune. Of course, is a published author, and we always enjoy chatting with Jeff. And he's working on a new project about LSU, a new book about LSU athletics. So we'll knock that around with Jeff and the Saints start OTA. So we'll get into that as we continue. Stick around with us here. It's AFR.
After further review.
If you are thinking about selling your home, and y'all know we are in that time of year, right? School is out. This is the time when a lot of people decide if maybe you're being transferred for your job, maybe you're an empty nester. It's time to put the home up for sale, find that new space. You're going to downsize. Maybe you're moving out of town. Maybe you're just coming back and moving into Baton Rouge. You need Darren James. Remember, 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. Save yourself time, headaches, frustration, money. Get your home sold faster for more money with Darren James. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Go to the website. Start right there. Most user-friendly website in real estate. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. And connect with Darren James, who's on the Wall Street Journal's list, top 1% of realtors in America. If you need to sell your home, man, call the guy who's going to give you an unbelievable experience and sell your home fast. Darren James.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm glad you're rolling along with us here in hour number 3 of a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Jimmy Ott will be here in about 30 minutes. We'll do Otter Locks. You can always get those live at Louisiana, live and free at louisianasports.net. Jeff Duncan's written a bunch of stuff. A lot of it about the Saints. Great book about Steve Gleason as well. And saw on Twitter earlier today that Jeff's announced his next project, and it's called Tigerland. It's going to be a book about basically the insanity of LSU athletics is kind of what it sounds like. Jeff, did I nail it? Is maybe a subtitle just LSU athletics is insane?
Yeah, Matt, I don't know if I would go that far. I think it's really more college athletics as a whole are in this transformative, dynamic time period, and LSU is kind of the epicenter of it all, and certainly one of the most compelling stories in this evolving college sports landscape, and certainly worth telling that story.
Well, walk us through how this happens, Jeff. Did you get pitched this idea by a publisher, or is it your idea that you went and pitched to a publisher?
A little of both. I have a relationship in the publishing world, and they knew I was interested. It actually came as a result of me pursuing a book project on Jack Marucci, the sports science program at LSU, all the innovation that we've seen there. And this was a byproduct of that. And I was really interested in doing that story, and this thing kind of trumped it, if you will, everything that's gone on in the last 6 months.
Okay. What's the core focus of the work?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I haven't written the book yet, right? I mean, I'm going to see where the story goes. I just want to see how this develops. I think it's going to be a larger picture. It's going to be on college athletics seen through the prism of LSU, if that makes sense. It's no different than, I'd say, looking at Friday Night Lights, and they focused on Odessa Permian High School as a larger story of high school athletics. That's what I'll be doing with LSU, and I'll see where the story goes. I actually think there's a lot of reason to believe what LSU is doing right now is just at the forefront of all of college sports, and they're just ahead of everyone. So a lot of the criticism that they might be taking nationally for, oh, this is crazy, it looks insane, I think actually we're going to find out they're not insane at all. They're actually very smart and just ahead of the game. And lots of times when you're ahead of the game, there's a lot of criticism that comes with it.
With ahead of the game with respect to what specifically, Jeff? Like, what piques your interest the most?
Understanding that it's a changing dynamic. I mean, we've talked to Burge Osbury, right? Burge is very clear that the old structure of managing an athletic department isn't the way into the future. It needs to be changed, and you need to be ahead of that. And, we're talking about the last 3 years, intercollegiate athletics has undergone structural shift unlike anything in its modern history. Not only do we have name, image, and likeness compensation, we have rev sharing, media rights contracts in the billions of dollars. I mean, this is big business. It's no longer the day and age when, and these were men I covered at LSU. Skip Bertman and Joe Dean were the athletic directors back in those days, right, Matt? Mm-hmm. Great men, great coaches. Those days are gone. You have to be more of a CEO, a business leader, because that's what it's become. And we've heard Burge Osbury talk about that the days of sitting in your office and managing the sports teams are over for that role. You have to be able to raise revenue and basically be a CEO. And I think that's a big core of what this book will be about, the changing dynamics of college athletics.
Jeff Duncan's our guest at Jeff Duncan _ if you want to get him there. Can you walk us through what that process is going to be like over, in the tweet you mentioned, if you're in Baton Rouge for the next 12 months, this would be why. What's that process like, Jeff, of organizing and putting a project like this together?
Well, I'm in the process of it right now, Matt. I've already spoken to officials at LSU. Very early, they're being receptive and cooperative, but I don't know what type of access they're going to grant me. I'll be covering the team for the Times-Picayune as well, so I'll be at all the games. I'm just going to see where the story goes. I don't have any preconceived notion of what we're getting into here. I just think with the characters involved, and I think we all know Lane Kiffin is a very compelling and in some cases polarizing character. I think you could say the same about Will Wade. I think you could say the same about the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry. They're fascinating characters. And with that dynamic and the high stakes that are involved with LSU athletics right now, the gamble, if you will, and I think this is certainly a 9-figure gamble, over $200 million in buyouts and salary and roster commitments. It's a big bet that everyone's making. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see if it pays off. One way or the other, I think it's a compelling story. And right now, I think there's no doubt in my mind that everyone in LSU believes it's going to be very successful. And I have no reason to believe it won't be.
Jeff, will you continue covering the Saints too?
Oh, yeah. They'll be doing both jobs. And I don't think there's going to be much overlap. But I will be at almost every home game for LSU, certainly some of the big road games. And I think it's going to be a compelling story. I don't see how it can't be. We've already seen it, right, Matt? This whole offseason, just how much attention is on LSU. And it's always been on LSU. The bright lights have always been on Baton Rouge, but nothing quite to this degree.
At Jeff Duncan _ is where you can get him. I noticed that Times Pick and the Advocate there announced John Blah as the new beat writer. So I presume he's replacing Wilson Alexander's role?
Yes. Comes to us from South Carolina, where he covered Clemson. I believe he covered IU before that. He's a Penn State grad, so he knows what big-time football is about, covered it at a high level, and he'll be starting in a couple of weeks. They're very excited about him. He's got great recommendations from a lot of my colleagues like Pete Thamel and Pat Forty in the business. So I'm very excited about him coming on board. And look, we all miss Wilson, but the good thing is Wilson is going to be around here for a while because I think he understands this season with LSU is going to be one that you can't miss.
Yeah, man. So Wilson obviously is for those who don't know, still living in Baton Rouge. He's moved on to take a national college football writing job at On3, but he's still based out of Baton Rouge. That could change somewhere down the line, but for now, he's still here, and you're right. I mean, it feels like certainly for the first month of the season, LSU is going to be the epicenter of college football. Jeff Duncan is with us. You can get him at Jeff Duncan _ new project coming live. It's going to be fascinating to see how it follows. You got any thoughts on the Saints starting OTAs this week? Any headlines or storylines worth watching this week?
Well, yeah, I'll be out there tomorrow. Obviously, we get access to them tomorrow, and I don't expect to see Alvin Kamara on the field. That's not unusual. He hasn't been at OTAs for the past few years. But certainly that storyline is going to be compelling and something we have to follow. I'm not sure where it's going, Matt. I don't have a feel. I've had people tell me that he's not going to be released. He's going to be a part of the team. There won't be a pay cut. And I've had people tell me that they don't think he'll be a part of it. It's really bizarre. This has been one I haven't been able to get my finger on the pulse of. So it'll be interesting to see these next few weeks play out.
He is Jeff Duncan, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune, and going to be working on an LSU project throughout this coming football season. I guess the next 12 months or so. We'll keep tabs on all of it. Hey, Jeff, we appreciate the time as always, man. Thank you.
Anytime, Matt. I'll be seeing you around a lot more, buddy.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks, Jeff. All right, that is Jeff Duncan of NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. We are brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, look, there's always great deals going on over at Rouse's, which is always worth remembering. You can go to the website, Rouse's.com, or their Facebook page. They always have the weekly ad. You go to the website, Rouse's.com, you'll see the tab right there at the very top of the homepage. It says weekly ad. So maybe you're doing your grocery shopping, and look, man, especially with gas prices going up, a lot of people buying on a budget. You want to make sure that you save. Buy Rouse's branded products. They do an amazing job at Rouse's of sourcing locally when they can, using local Louisiana products for their Rouse's branded products. And, of course, you're going to save. So if you're putting together your grocery list, remember, get by Rouse's. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. You can always check them out on their Facebook page as well when they have great specials coming up or whatever they might be promoting. Make sure you're following Rouse's on social media. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's, this feels like home. Good stuff there from Jeff Duncan. Interesting conversation. You know, I'll be fascinated to see where that story goes because, I mean, he is right that I guess it's so interesting because every time I talk to a colleague in the industry about what's going on, it's just like, man, well, it's never boring over there. Man, y'all always have something to talk about. And I think part of it is just that for us, much of what happens just feels very normal, doesn't it? I mean, stealing Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss, rehiring Will Wade, the governor making a comment and firing the AD, like taking the AD from an in-state school and making him an associate AD in charge of basketball, and then it's just none of it's surprising. Like hiring Ed Ogeron or Les Miles eating grass or whatever, you know? I guess we are just very comfortable here being different. And that's weird for a lot of people. But it's not here. But it is very compelling. I mean, it's just an undeniable thing what's happened at LSU in the last 6 months, even by LSU standards. I mean, bringing Kim Mulkey from Baylor, in the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing in the championship. It's a never-ending storyboard with LSU, and it's fascinating. See what Jeff's project turns up. Okay, y'all. It is after further review. Let's knock out a quick break. Jimmy will be here in 15 minutes for Otterlocks. When we come back, I do want to revisit some more of what Lane said and some of the pot shots that some around the league are taking at LSU and Kiffin. We'll get to that as we continue. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
YourGoodwood.com. YourGoodwood.com for Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Tell you about them every single day. They're the title sponsor of our Hump Day shows all throughout the year. A couple things. Man, I was at lunch today with a client and a good friend, honestly, and he asked me point blank if I take peptides. And I've mentioned it here on air before that I do, and I said, absolutely. I take BPC 157, which is great for tissue repair, recovery. If you have an injury, maybe you had surgery, I use it because I have chronic lower back pain. It has been transformative for me. It's worked exceptionally well. And I tell people all the time, try a cycle of it. If you don't like it or it doesn't work, then don't take it anymore. And maybe it works for you. And it's something you could work into your daily regimen. I take NAD Plus for cellular optimization, making my cells literally more youthful. There's so many amazing things. Sermorelin, which is a growth hormone peptide. I take at night to help with sleep and recovery and help your body rejuvenate, mental clarity while you sleep. Learn more. YourGoodwood.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit YourGoodwood.com.
Yeah, I think that's really unique to it. Having him on our staff, 2 different places, to have him, having sat in that seat at the same place is tremendous value. And just to bounce things off of somebody that's been there through the ups and downs of it.
People often misuse the word unique. Unique means, in a literal sense, only one. Rare means seldom. Unique means one. Lane Kiffin said this is a unique situation. I think he's kind of right. I can't remember a time where a head coach was fired and then rehired by the same school that fired him to be an assistant. Like, we've seen Greg Schiano leave Rutgers for the NFL and then go back to Rutgers. We've seen Bobby Petrino leave Louisville for the NFL and then go back to Louisville. Like, we've seen some of those, right? I don't know that we've seen this. If someone's got one, let me know. But it's full tilt for LSU, and I've talked about it plenty. I think, listen, there's having people in the right role in any organization is so important. And Ed Ogeron coaching defensive line and recruiting is a no-brainer. Ed Ogeron, since he's been fired at LSU, despite winning a national championship, never got another head coaching job, we always say actions speak louder than words. That tells you the answer to the test, right? Like, it's not a guy that you had places looking for to hire him as their head football coach. But in this role, I mean, how could you not be on board with Ed Orgeron in this role, given the things that he is exceptional at and has been exceptional at for decades in his college coaching career? Urban Meyer on the Triple Option podcast reacted to Coach O being rehired at LSU. And I don't know what to make of this, because on one hand, it feels like a compliment. On the other hand, it feels like, well, it's a backhanded compliment. Give a listen.
I've known Coach O forever, and I use the term often, certified nut job is what he is. I mean, rips his shirt off, but I'll tell you what, he was arguably the best defensive line coach in the game, and then he was one of the great recruiters. For many, many years, I recruited against him, coached against him, so this is a no-brainer.
This is my problem with so many people when they talk about Ed Orgeron. And, like, that comment, Muse, can you cue that up again and just go after the certified nut job part? So where he says certified, just cue it up right after certified nut job and then play the clip from Urban Meyer. I'm going to make a point here. Like, you have it? Okay, this is Herb without the certified nut job part.
Rips his shirt off, but I'll tell you what, he was arguably the best defensive line coach.
Take off the rip the shirt. My bad. Take out the rip the shirt off. Okay, just like start it right after that part.
He was arguably the best defensive line coach in the game, and then he was one of the great recruiters. For many, many years, I recruited against him, coached against him, so this is a no-brainer.
See how different that plays without he's a certified nut job who rips his shirt off? Like, what if people talking about Pete Golding mentioned the fact that he was an alcoholic who got arrested for DUI? Or same thing with Steve Sarkisian, who went to rehab for being an alcoholic. Like, why don't we hear people talk about Sark in that respect? Or Pete Golding in that respect? You just talk about their football acumen. It's the complicated part about Ed Orgeron. And I know it's always weird for people when I talk about Coach O, because I was not in favor of Ed Orgeron being the head coach at LSU. Okay? We don't need to relitigate and dig up the whole story again. But, like, thought LSU could have done better, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows how I felt about that. But it was never a thing like making fun of his voice or where he's from or the certified nut job ripping his shirt off thing. It was never that. I don't know why it's okay. I've really struggled with this for a lot of years, man. Ever since I remember Ed Orgeron's first game as LSU's head coach, as the full-time head coach, the BYU game that was supposed to be in Houston, got moved to New Orleans. And that crew, it was like Brock Heward and Allison Williams on the sideline. If you remember during that broadcast, they all like mocked him mocked his voice. They were all like doing the Ed Orgeron voice. And Heward made a face and made him look like a caveman. You're doing the voice. I'm like, you wouldn't do that to literally anybody else. You wouldn't do it to a black coach. You wouldn't do it to Kalani Sitake, who's of Samoan descent. Like, you wouldn't do it to anybody else. Why is it okay to do it to him? Like the Urban Meyer comp. Do you see what I mean? Like, sometimes I think people do it without even realizing how ridiculous it is that you wouldn't make that type of comment about anybody else. And that's when it moves beyond just the ability to coach, because you heard him be very complimentary, his ability to coach and recruit. So why the preface about him being a certified nut job who rips off his shirt? It's just not a thing that needs to be there. But always is with Ed Orgeron, which is complicated. But love the hire in the role, right? In the role that he'll be in. Speaking of Pete Golding, he was asked during spring meetings to react to the Lane Kiffin comments. We'll do that in just a quick second. Let me remind you about Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Simply the best. You know, you can go call around and get quotes if you're trying to replace windows. I just need you to understand, if you do that and you're calling to say, okay, who's going to give me the cheapest price? That's never going to be Relief Windows. Okay, so if you're just calling to get quotes, see who's going to be the cheapest, that's not ever going to be Relief Windows. It can't be. They sell a premium product. They have the best technicians. They have measure techs, install techs. To make sure it's done right, they actually have a full service department. It's not like the person that sells you the window is also the one that's going to come service your account. Like, they have a full-on service department. It's why you're going to have an exceptional customer service experience. And all their work comes with a lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. You're going to have the best experience and the best windows and the best measure techs. And they're going to get it right the first time. And if anything does go wrong, they're going to fix it. And that's just what it is. You want the cheapest? That's not going to be Relief Windows. But remember what your mama told you. You get what you pay for. It's Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Little Sneaky Pete had a few things to say as well. Talk about Lane Kiffin's Vanity Fair comments. Here you go.
Really don't have a response to it. I mean, obviously, there's a Lane side for us that we're buddies and are friends, and then there's a professional side that I have to get on his ass at, about a little bit sometimes. But I think, every time he gets in front of a camera, they're bringing up Ole Miss and all that. I think, the breakup wasn't perfect. I don't think any of them ever will be. But, for some of the last comments that he made, I think anybody that's been to Oxford, knows that's not where we're at right now. I've lived all over the Southeast. We all got our own issues, but I think the biggest thing is make sure people come to Oxford and see it for themselves.
The other part, I think I have no problem with that, by the way, with what Pete Golding said. And as I said when the Vanity Fair article published, I agree with him. I think Oxford's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful town. It's a gorgeous town. There's good people there. It's clean, it's safe, it's a great place to go to school or raise a family and all that sort of stuff. It's a small town of 20,000 people, which isn't for everybody. I think that's one of the things that maybe one of the reasons Kiffin started looking around a little bit, not exclusively, but one of the reasons. But this is the other part too, where Golden was asked, did Lane Kiffin reach out to him after those Vanity Fair comments?
Lane hits me up every day. So I get 12 text messages a day from Lane. It's just, what do I decide to look at as well, So I was not looking at that one, but no, we're good.
I don't know what's more perplexing, the fact that Lane Kiffin texts Pete Golding 12 times a day, or Pete Golding said in that comment that Lane texts him 12 times a day. And as a result of hearing that, Lane probably texted him. Dude can't help himself. It's actually really impressive that Lane has stayed off of Twitter as long as he has. I don't know how he's resisted. Somebody take his phone? I don't know. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Speaking of the best, they just posted this 5-star Google review. And when you've been around for as long as Shaw Bills has, treating people right like they do, you'll see things like this. How about this one? 5-star Google review from M. Taylor. Would highly recommend this business. I was traveling on the interstate, so not even from here. I was traveling on the interstate, had a blowout. Pulled in late in the day, just before closing time. I was greeted promptly with a helpful can-do attitude. My tire was fixed quickly. I was back on the road in no time. Rarely do you receive such helpful, friendly service like I did that day at Shaw Bills. It's not rare when you go to Shaw Bills, because that's what they've done since 1968. When Mr. Charlie opened the business, they were going to sell name brand tires at wholesale prices and treat you like family, so you keep coming back. Oh, do you think M. Taylor, next time this person has an issue with their vehicle, where are they going to go? To the friendly, helpful people that provide great customer service. It's Shaw Bills. shawbillstire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. It's been a really good show, y'all. Glad you're hanging out here. We did talk about some of Lane Kiffin's comments at SEC spring meetings. Chris Stanfield, Cooper Moore, Gavin Guidry, Derek Curiel were all in studio today. You just heard Jeff Duncan a bit ago. Mavrick Rizy's in the portal. Got a ton. If you missed anything AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf, get it on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. Just search After Further Review, and you get it all right there. All right, final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. Stick around.
AFR.
Yeah, hump day is here, staring down the weekend. Great opportunity to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, and you know where they are. Seagonair Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Y'all, bypass the big box stores. Bypass the big box stores and support a local retailer that's been in our community for more than 60 years. And my goodness, they've got beautiful flowers, blooms coming out of the yin yang. They're bursting. Those greenhouses are bursting with blooms. It's an awesome time to get by Clegg's and to just plant something. No matter, look at this. These blueberry bushes right now, $19.99 for a 3-gallon. You can go to Facebook and check out the ad that they have right now for all their great discounts. They got Johnny Naylor seeds. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you, the Clegg's Nursery. Love telling you about River Parish Contractors. rpcontractors.com is the website if you're looking for work, or you may not even know you're looking for work. River Parish Contractors, you need to make this call. Call Big Jake over at River Parish Contractors because they got tons of work lined up. So you want overtime? They got as much overtime as you want. So you never have to. A lot of places want to hire, give you a good rate, but they don't want you to work overtime. Not a River Parish Contractors. They got as much overtime as you want to work. You want to work night shifts when it's cooler? You can do that. You want to work day shifts? Got it. Look, there's no rainouts. They have amazing benefits. They've got PTO. If you're a welder, pipe fitter, pipe cutter, you got to get in touch with my friends over at River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake or go to rpcontractors.com, rpcontractors.com. Right there in Reserve, River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, 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 Otter!
What's going on, Matthew? How are you?
Doing awesome, man. Back from Arizona.
There you go.
Got to go watch the Diamondbacks beat the Rockies on Saturday.
Okay.
Got a good number. Got a good number on the Diamondbacks. Talented team that nobody really knows. It's kind of crazy, but
swept San Francisco again. 2 straight sweeps. So this afternoon. So yeah, they are talented. Ketel Marte is crushing it right now.
Man,
I mean, he is.
Marte homered in the game we were there. Like one of the best young players. Like nobody knows who he is. It's crazy. But yeah,
Corbin Carroll's fun to watch.
Carroll and Marte are. I mean, it just if you're not an MLB fan, you probably don't even know those two names because they just play in obscurity for the Diamondbacks. But yes. Nolan Arenado is still hanging around as well, but yeah, man, it's odd to see a team that's really good without really any household names. Anyway, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Ballpark is very bland, actually very similar to Houston, like almost identical. If you had blindfolded me, dropped me in the concourse, taken the blindfold off, said where are you, I'd have been like, oh, it's Houston. No, it's almost the same part.
So, in the middle of the summer, those retractable roofs are nice to have.
Hey, no, I'm gonna tell you, Otter, the roof was open Saturday.
No, I'm saying in the middle of the summer.
Oh yeah. Oh no, God, yes,
120 degrees.
Yes, that's where it's an absolute must. Yeah, no doubt. All right, what are we looking at tonight?
All right, Randy McKay on the ice tonight, giving us Montreal home dog tonight, plus about 125 in that one. They're down 2-1, trying to even it up tonight. Pittsburgh, we're going against the Cubs. The Cubs have 2 different 10-game winning streaks. They now have a 10-game losing streak. They have not won since the owner of the Billy Goat Tavern has passed away. So they have Cheeseburger, the old John Belushi skit on Saturday Night Live, home of the Billy Goat. The Yankees are on fire, and Garrett Cole was really, really good last time out. Expected him to build on it. We laid the 1.5 last night. That was an easy one. We're going to lay the 1.5 again against the Royals, who they've beaten now their last 13 meetings in a row. -102. We're reducing that juice Dodgers, Baltimore moneyline parlay.
Too late.
Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani. Baltimore has already hit a 2-run homer. Remember, we were riding the Rays for a long time, but you saw the Judge 2-run shot to walk it off on Sunday. That snapped their winning streak. They've dropped the first 2 now. They lost 3 in a row, in danger of getting swept tonight at Camden Yards. We're switching to the Orioles, who have gotten a little fire right now and already lead 2-0.
It's 2-0, bases loaded with nobody out. That's you're not getting, if you missed it, you're not getting it. And it's interesting. So the Cubs Pirates, by the way, the Cubs in the top of the first have the bases loaded with nobody out. So that money line playing the Pirates now is plus $1.50. And I'm gonna hang on here because 1 out now with bases loaded, so it's down to plus $1.12. So see what the number looks like here in a minute, but still an opportunity there, maybe to get an even better price.
Yeah, that scares me.
1 minute remaining.
That's basically the biggest angle on the handicap, and that is going against the Cubs, the struggling bats. So if they are having a little success early on, that'd be a little concern. So I wouldn't jump on it if they're late. So,
all right.
Concerning 3-0 Orioles. First 6 have reached in Camden Yards. So.
That's minus 1140. I don't think we're gonna parlay that one tonight. All right, Otter, where are you tomorrow?
All right, we're at Bally's, at the Bally's New Casino at the DraftKings Sportsbook downtown.
Awesome. All right, man, good luck. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
We'll see you. That's Jimmy Yachts. After further review, you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Keeping an eye on the Pirates Cubs. See if it gets any better. All right, Muse Pauly, thanks. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Brought to you by First South Farm Credit. I got a big announcement for you. New URL. Same website, but it's firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Easy enough, right? Tell you all the time about First South Farm Credit. So log on to firstsouthfarmcredit.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call, say it all the time, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. It's the most important thing to know. And look, I know a lot of people that buy land. I've learned this, talking to Ben and Tim, my friends over at First South Farm Credit over the years. Most people that buy land already own land. So if that's you, maybe you're looking to take some of your equity, roll it into a new property, or maybe you're a first-time land buyer, recreational property. Maybe you're looking to buy the 50 acres to build your family's dream home. firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. firstsouthfarmcredit.com.